Now, this is again, we are changing gears here. Item weight. Uh, so the weight of I was curious as to what is the weight of distribution of weight of toys that are being sold. And here on the left hand side, we see that the weight of toys could well exceed 7 kgs or 7,000 grams. But if you zoom in and look at just the main chunk of the data right here, we can see that most of the toys are well under a kg, or we could say most of them are well under 500 grams. And if you look at the median right here, 300 grams is seems to be what most of the toys are being sold at. Most of the toys that are being sold have this weight of 300 grams. Again, thing to keep in mind that we are looking at only the first 30 to 40 pages of the listing on Amazon.in, where we have sort by selected as featured. So again, if I'm trying to sell a product, sell a toy, then I'd pick a toy that has a weight of well under 500 grams. And or maybe the advantages of that could be lower shipping costs, etc., etc. Again, maybe the type of material also plays an important part into what the final weight of the toy would be. Along the same lines, if we look at the length, width, and height, L, W, and H of toys, again, all toys will not have all the three dimensions. So if you are looking at a maybe a chess board on a piece of paper, it will just have length and width. But if you're looking at something as a maybe a teddy bear, roughly it'll have some three-dimensional shape, so length, width, and height would be there. On the left-hand side, we have the length. Uh, so length seems to be around 20 centimeters median. Width is around 12, and height is around 8. So most of the toys have in that have that particular dimension, 19, 12, and 8 centimeters. But roughly speaking, we can say that the dimensions of the toys could be well within 20 by 20 by 20 centimeters. So most of the data lies within 20 centimeters. Again, the reason why that could be the case is if you think about it, the now before I talk about my intuition on that, the this particular size, it may represent the size of the package or it may represent the size of the toy itself. So that's unknown right here. But thinking and looking at these dimensions, most of these toys would be for children. So uh, their hands would be much smaller. And so if I'm looking at toys that should be able to play, then uh, maybe these are the dimensions which they would be able to handle easily and thus enjoy playing with the toys. And so if I'm making a toy or if I'm gonna sell a toy, maybe these ranges of length, width, and height are something to stay within and not exceeding these ranges. And that would also help in lowering the shipping costs. So if the toy is oversized, then of course it'll have a higher shipping cost as compared to a toy that fits in a small box. Uh, this was another interesting point to look at was, does the toy require assembly or can the toy be played as is after opening the box? And 50% of the toys do not require any assembly. So 49%. 39% are known, there was no information. And there were 12% of the toys that did require installation. So by assembly, uh, I'm trying to imagine this as assembly of the toy itself to make it work, as against a model building toy which does come in different pieces that are put together to create the final object. So here I'm thinking of just the assembly of a toy. So if it's like a small cart, then maybe the wheels come separate. So when you receive the package, you need to put the wheels on the cart, and so the kid can then drive the cart. So that's what I'm thinking here. So 50% do not require assembly. Again, if I'm bringing in a toy for sale, then uh, I'll have it pre-installed before shipping to the customer. So to increase the chances of uh, customer satisfaction and thus better sales. Batteries, are batteries required? So there are electronic toy category that definitely would require batteries. However, in general, if you look at all the toys, all the categories combined, 50% of the toys do not require batteries. 4% do require, and for 48% there is no information. So we can't say anything about these. But of those that say yes and no, we can say that almost 93% of the toys do not require any batteries. So I'm guessing this fraction is the fraction which are not electronic toys, or uh, maybe they are the ones that have inbuilt batteries that can be recharged, so you don't have to buy additional batteries and replace them. So again, uh, if I'm trying to bring in a toy for sale, uh, probably choose a type of toy that does not require any batteries. This was pretty interesting, and uh, these two plots, I'll tell half of the story now. Uh, if we look at days elapsed, so if a toy was listed on Amazon on say in January of this 2021, and if I'm looking at the listing in September 2021, then days elapsed would be 3 months elapsed, 3 months into 30 odd days. So I'd say, sorry, 9 months elapsed and 30 odd days for each of those months. So we have 30 multiplied by 9. So we have 270 days elapsed since the toy was listed on Amazon. So what these histograms are showing is the distribution of these days elapsed when the toys were posted on Amazon. And again, this is for only the first 30 to 40 pages of listings for those 10 categories that we looked at earlier. And interestingly, we can see this is the entire plot. There are some listings much older than this, but we have most of them within 2000 days. And here, if we zoom in this particular part, we can see that 365 days is a year. Then we have that shown right here by the green dotted line. And then we have the median, which is 204 days. And then we have another peak here. So if we look within this, we have one peak right here shown in red, another peak in blue, another in magenta, and another one right here in black. So the listings could be 3 years old, 3 months old, 6 months old, 12 months old, or 20 months old. And that's cool to know that if you are a new seller, then you're not alone. There are a vast majority of the listings are for toys that were posted no more than 3 months ago. So that's what we see here in this red peak shown. And then the second largest chunk is 204 days old. So about 6 months old, I'd say. So 6 multiplied by 30, so we have 180, so that's around 6 months right here. Let's now look at the what audience are these toys catering to, what type of customers by age. And here these are categories based on age. So we have baby, toddler, preschool, grade schooler, teen, young adult, adult, and senior. So that we have different age groups. So age baby would be age less than a year, and then toddler would be older than that, preschool would be older than that, and so on. And senior, this category is age 60 plus, that's listed here. So immediately looking at these charts, we can see that there are less number of options listed for babies, and that the intuition behind that could be that uh, maybe until the kid learns what maybe the toys are not that interesting to them until they understand what a toy is, and so there are less options when the kid is less than a year old. So for babies there are lesser options, but there still are uh, plenty of toys that could be bought. And again, this is based on the search when sort by featured is used, and these are just the first 30 to 40 pages. If you search for toys for baby, then definitely get a wide variety of results that are listed just for babies. So this is not to say that there are less number of items, the less number of choices of toys, but when we are comparing the types of toys sold for each of these categories, this is the picture that we have. We have less number of choices in this data set for babies and a lot more choices for grade schoolers, preschool, and toddlers. Shown here by this green color, 86% of the toys are catered towards grade schoolers. Then there are 81% for preschool, 75% for toddlers. And that starts to diminish as the age increases. And for seniors, it's 50%. So some of the toys are all ages, and that's what I'm guessing that uh, these include. So these segments for young adult, adult, and senior are the toys that are for uh, all ages. That's what I'm thinking. So even a preschooler can play the game. Maybe if it's cards, then they can play the game as well as seniors can play the game as well. And here what we see is the another distribution in a pie chart for the toys by age. So most of the toys are sold for toddlers, preschools, and grade school kids, as we saw earlier. So we have toddlers, which is 15%, preschool 17%, grade schooler 18%. For babies, just 5% in this data set.